Hey, what is up, guys? Just over here bringing you another NBA offseason video. Right now, I'm going to be talking about Nikola Jokic, the Joker, and Will the Thrill Barton re-signing with the Denver Nuggets. And the Denver Nuggets are saying, you know what? We're keeping it consistent here in Denver. We're keeping our main bench player, Will Barton, on a nice little contract. And we're signing our dude, our guy, Nikola Jokic. And they're hoping that, with these types of signings, they can entice one LeBron James. As of this recording, the Nuggets have been trying to pursue an interview with LeBron James. And hey, remember, Dwayne Wade, when he did a interview with the Nuggets, he said that he liked that team a lot. And he said, hey, this team right here has a good future. And when you look at the Nuggets and the moves that they made here, these are both really good, solid moves that, don't really hurt their cap situation moving forward, that give the Nuggets consistency. Because when you look at the Nuggets, they are a good team. They were just one win from missing the playoffs. That's pretty much what you have to say to yourself if you're a Nuggets fan. Like, hey, our team's good. The past two seasons, yeah, we were both one way away from the playoffs. So our conference rivals and the Blazers and the Timberwolves took us out. But ultimately, at the end of the day, this is a playoff type of team. Now, the question is, what will this team do in the playoffs? The good thing about the Nuggets is that they're really young. It's not like the Nuggets are some old team. Yeah, they have some old heads on the team like Wilson Chandler and Darrell Arthur, but they have nice young pieces. And a guy like Jokic, they took a huge gamble because they could have easily taken that team option, but the Nuggets were like, no, we know what the cap situation is going to be like next year. Let's get Jokic on a nice 5-year, $147 million deal instead of waiting for that team option next year to expire, have it where he's a restricted free agent, and some team offers him a ridiculous contract that we'll be forced to match because we are not going to let this stud walk away. It took a lot of balls for the Nuggets to do that, because let's not forget the Carlos Boozer situation. Remember, Carlos Boozer promised the Cavaliers years ago, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll re-sign with you. And then all of a sudden, Utah Jazz were like, here's all this money, Boozer. And Boozer's like, yeah, I'm sorry, Cavs, I'm out. Deuces. He said there was no promise in it. It is what it is. But the Nuggets took a risk, saying, hey, we're not going to give the team option to Jokic this year. We're going to take it off him and then offer him a 5-year max. But this 5-year max will be much cheaper than the 5-year max that would probably be offered to him next offseason. And as well, we will still have cap room to make moves and abilities to build a team around him. Because the Nuggets, they don't really have a conventional point guard. They have guys who played the guard position, but their point guard is really Nikola Jokic. Their offense rolls around what Nikola Jokic can do. Jokic is a tremendous offensive player. But when you look at the contract for Jokic, you give him this type of contract, he's making the same amount of money as Joel Embiid. Is Jokic on the same level as Embiid? Offensively, yes. Defensively, The one thing about Jokic is defensively, this guy is not so dang good at it. So when you look at this contract from a perspective, yes, it's a really good deal right now. But when I look at an overall player like Embiid, and I see a guy like Jokic, and I see that they're making the same money, I'd much rather have Joel Embiid than Nikola Jokic. Sure, Jokic is a way better offensive player than Joel Embiid at this point. But when it comes to defense, it takes a while to teach defense to big men. And to me personally, when I hear guys like talk about Nikola Jokic being the next European star, compare him to the Gasol brothers, I'm like, oh, whoa. Mark and Powell know how to play defense. Jokic, not so much. So let's not compare him to the Gasol brothers. Let's not put him on that pedestal yet, buddy. Let's just wait and see. But I do like that the Denver Nuggets took a risk, took the team option out of Jokic, and were able to sign him to this deal. Because you all know if they would have just let him be a restricted free agent next season, then Brooklyn Nets would have came running by. They'd have been like, oh, you know what? We have 2 max contracts now. Here, Jokic, eat all this money, eat all our cap. And then the Denver Nuggets were like, no, we're not going to pay this stupidity. It's better to pay Jokic around $30 million a year than $35 to $40 million a year, because now you still have some cap room. And then being able to re-sign Will Barton. This was a guy that was drawing a lot of interest from a lot of contending teams that still had some cap. This was a guy that was saying that, he's a good bench player. He's a spark plug off the bench. And especially if you do have a player that, goes down with injuries, Barton is a serviceable starter. So the Nuggets being able to keep a guy like Will Barton, who's a really good three-point shooter, an underrated defender in my personal opinion. And trust me, I'm a Timberwolves fan. I watch as much Nuggets games as Nuggets fans. So when it comes down to it, they're conference rivals. I know. You Nuggets fans probably hate that a Timberwolves fan is talking about this right now. But the thing about Will Barton, The dude is just a really good bench player. The dude is a really solid prospect. So when I say that he's an underrated defender, don't go be like, oh no, Chase, if you look at these. No, I'm not looking at these goddamn PER or stupid analytics stats. That's just stupid. When I see on the court what Will Barton does on defense, I see it. And he does a really good job at locking up some dudes down. Not every top tier player. I'm just saying the second unit guys, he does a good job at it. He's very athletic. He's great on the floor because he's able to push the pace and, hit some slam dunks and dunk on some fools. Will Barton is a fun player and a good player, and it's not like he's going to regress. And when you look at his contract, it's only $14 million a year. And after that second year is done, hey, if there's a contending team and Will Barton's not really working out for you as your sixth man, you can just say, hey, who wants Will Barton? We'll take flyers. And there will be a contending team that will say, hey, Will Barton may be struggling, but maybe it's Denver, and we'll take that contract, and you can trade something from Will Barton. I feel like sometimes with NBA fans, especially those who talk about contracts a lot of them don't think about, is this contract tradable? Because that's what you always got to think about when you grade contracts or you talk about players with contracts, is that you got to look at the contract, see how much they're making per year, and saying, is this tradable? Because the thing about the NBA, just like baseball, this league loves to trade a lot. You could see someone sign a huge deal, and then all of a sudden that same season, they'll get traded. I mean, look at Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard has been traded 2 times in the last year or so. So when it comes down to it, you just got to look at these contracts. You got to also put that into the factor when you're grading your trades. I've been watching a lot of NBA videos, and I saw someone slam this Will Barton signing. I was like, but the contract's still tradable. I mean, he's a 6th man making $14 million a year. I know a lot of people are going to be like, that's still a lot of money. But when it comes down to it, when the cap increases in 2 years, it's not going to be that much money. It'll be like, yeah, we will trade for Will Barton, especially if he can help us win a championship. And Denver could actually get some pieces out of it as well. But overall, the Denver Nuggets are saying we are being consistent, and hopefully these type of moves can lead to a LeBron James coming to a team. And really, to be honest with the Denver Nuggets, they are a sneaky super team in the making. With Jamal Murray, the Gary Harris, Nikola Jokic, the defensive efforts there, especially with Jamal Murray, needs to be realized. But when it comes down to it, this Nuggets team, if built correctly, if the front office keeps doing what they're doing, they can become a super team. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's crazy talk right there, Chase. But they can't. You never know. Who predicted the Warriors to all of a sudden blow up? Unless you were a huge Draymond Green stan. No way you could have told me that Draymond Green would become one of the greatest power forwards of this era. Klay Thompson, yes, one of the greatest shooters. But there's no way you could have told me that Klay Thompson would be the best 3-and-D player in the league. And who saw Stephen Curry exploding like he did? The thing about NBA, what some fans need to realize is patience. The Nuggets have a young team, and the patience with the Nuggets and the trajectory of them, it only goes up. And I like both of these signings by the Denver Nuggets. But what do you guys think about the Denver Nuggets signings? Leave them in the comment section down below. Keep subscribing if you guys want more NBA offseason videos. And make sure to check out the previous ones. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.